What up, fam? Currently on my second run for the day. Did a pretty fast track workout this morning. That video will be out Tuesday next week. Hope you guys check it out. It'll be pretty good. Today I'm taking this time during my second run, yes, I got 2 phones with some bullet points, to talk about a topic that was brought up by camerawoman Kelly for maybe potentially you younger folk out there, or those that are maybe just getting into running. But the topic of discussion today is, how can you tell how you would be good at, like, say, the 100 meter versus, you know, the 2 mile in like high school? Or if you're just getting into running and you're like, hey, you know, I want to run a 5K, or I want to run a half or full, or how would you know of different parameters what event you'd be good for and which one you should train for specifically? But before I get to the video, I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys about Back Bay Fitness running armbands. All right, fam, we got a jack of all trades running armband by Back Bay Fitness. They sent me this armband to try out and promote, and I am absolutely loving it so far. This armband is the fix of all armbands out there. It's water resistant, it doesn't bounce, it's got good grip on your arm, it locks into place, and it has several pockets where you can place your keys, your credit card, any personal identification, and it also has a Velcro strap hook that can also hold on to loose ends of your headphones if you're using headphones with wire. It also has different exit holes on the top and the bottom for different inputs for different phones. So it's very universal when it comes to that end. So if you guys are looking for a great armband to listen to podcasts or music on your runs, head to backbaybrand.com. Use my coupon code WhatUpFam for 10% discount off anything on that website. The link to backbaybrand.com will be down in the description. I just want to say first that having fun is the most important thing about this talk, because, you know, I'm sure there are people out there that their body makeup, they come from a family of sprinters, they're really good at sprinting, but they just want to, you know, do long distance running and have fun, and that's okay. So take this with a grain of salt. So some of you guys maybe also be coming from other sports as well, such as soccer or football, especially if you're in middle school or high school. But even your post-collegians that maybe, you know, were swimmers, or they were soccer players in college and they want to take up distance running out of college. That plays a factor into like what you would be good at, because, right, if you spend a majority 4 years of your life focusing on another sport that helped recruit fast twitch muscle fibers, you're probably going to fare off being a better sprinter. But as with everyone's makeup, there's a certain limit, if you will, to how quick someone can get based on their genetics and how much training they put in. So when they come out of soccer, maybe they seem to have been a sprinter all along, or their baseline sprint level, which we'll talk about in a little bit, how to tell, was pretty high. But maybe they're a jack of all trades and they can do, you know, short distance and long distance, but they just enjoyed soccer. And psychologically, if you stayed with, you know, 4 years of playing soccer, football, lacrosse, or that involves a lot of sprinting, chances are you're probably good at it, and that's why you stayed with it for 4 years, on top of enjoying the sport to begin with. Now, I mentioned baseline performance. So say you're a freshman or sophomore in high school or you're in middle school and you want to take up running, but you don't know what event you want to do, right? A lot of kids growing up, you know, are influenced by football and stuff like that. Look up Prefontaine. He wanted to play football when he was a freshman in high school, but he wasn't, you know, big enough. Back to talking about like genetics and body build, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So he took up running. Same thing with me. I'm pretty short. I took up running because I wasn't very good at team sports. I thought at one point maybe I could have been, you know, a 200 meter runner, 300, 400 meter runner, whatever. But as time went on, I found out that I was actually better at the distance runs. So a way you can find baseline performance, say you have a new athlete, middle schooler, high schooler, line them all up. If you have them do drills, quick step type drills, you know, like ladder on the ground, quick feet, you can probably pick out from that group of individuals which one will be better at the sprint events by how quick they can, you know, do their quick feet and quick drills and plyometrics and whatnot. Chances are they have higher glycotic white tissue type fibers, which will make them probably better sprinting. So that's one how you can tell. I observed this when I was coaching middle school. Shout out Silverton Middle School. You know, watch the kids do all their drills. You watch the distance runners do the drills, and then you watch the sprinters do the drills. Obviously, there's some training aspect to that too that could influence what I'm seeing or what I'm observing in these runners. But the ones that are able to move their feet quicker are the ones that are potentially better at sprinting. Not saying that's a here all, but just something that I observed. Comment down below if you agree or if you've seen anything else. And you can also just hopping into a 100 meter or a 1500 and see how you perform. But another thing too, especially with being young, and you see this a lot, is that when you're in school, especially if you're a distance runner in high school, maybe you identify yourself as a miler or a 100 meter runner or a 3200 meter runner. In reality, all those are mid-distance. And I find that the younger you are, there's a lack of development, both because you're still growing and the fact that the training or endurance aspect of training your type 2 muscle fibers, a quick twitch, to behave more like type 1 slow twitch muscle fibers, which comes with time. So at that point, everyone, usually when they're younger, they're like, oh, I am a sprinter, or we're fast, or that kid's fast. Now with baseline performance, if you find that you enter an event and you perform well off little to no training, chances are that it's probably the event you should focus on. Now, there are rare people out there that are a jack of all trades that can, run a really fast 400 and a really fast 100 and so forth and go up, like your decathlete. They probably make a really good decathlete or heptathlete in college, but you won't know until you try. Let's say you just got into running or the sport, whether you're a sprinter or a distance runner, and you got a couple events underneath your belt. Now, I am a distance runner, and I'm speaking from a distance running perspective, but I'm sure there are charts out there for sprinters as well. They've done enough science on this that, at least for distance runners, assuming you're well trained, you can probably easily predict what you will run, say, for example, in the 5K from what you have run in the 1500. But if you are more slow twitch inclined or more of a distance runner as a youngster, chances are you can find a chart line of like these events. If it's a straight line across, like if all your times line up for all the events you've tried in terms of equivalent performances, you're probably a well-rounded individual. But if the chart line kind of steeps upward in one direction or downward in one direction, you have to check the chart because I just can't picture on top of my head. It could potentially show that you're more successful at the distance events and least successful or equivalent wise at the short events. But you also got to play into part training comes in effect as well. Now, like I mentioned prior, genetics and body type can come into play when it comes to performance at certain events. So there are 3 body types: ectomorph, like your skinny distance runners; mesomorph, somewhere in the middle of, and the next one is endomorph, which would be like your throwers and your shot putters. That could be due to genetics, it could be due to environmental factors such as diet and stuff like that. But you won't know until you try, you work out, you take care of yourself. I mean, you want an extreme outlier, look at Ryan Hall. He went straight from ectomorph. I'll still say he's a mesomorph. He's just really muscular. You can also get a muscle biopsy. I believe maybe some Olympic athletes have done that. Basically, they take a piece of your quad and they can find out the muscle pattern makeup of the different muscle fibers, and therefore it can show potentially what events or what sports you would be good in, taking all questions out of the factor. Like I said prior, the psychology of it is, if you stick to an event or a sport or distance or sprinting or whatever, and you do well at it, chances are you're going to stick with it. What also means chances are you're probably good at it to an extent, and it makes you happier. So that's why you stick to that and that sport. All right, guys, so to summarize up this video, how would you figure out what event you would be good at, how you could tell if you're a youngster or just getting into running or a certain sport? You won't know until you try. You could do a couple things, like quick feet, find out your baseline drills and stuff and see if you have fast firing patterns. You can go into a couple events, look up charts online, figure out whether they slant up or down, and I can tell you if you're better at the shorter stuff or better at the longer stuff. It takes some time to figure out, trial and error, right? You must suffer to succeed. We have to have self-doubt in order to grow as an individual. Motivation, and that's where, the aspect of life comes in, just trying new things, right? So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. Make sure you guys check out Back Bay brand running armbands. Link in the description down below. Remember, use my coupon code WhatUpFan for 10% discount, anything on that website. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell when I post my next video. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.